And we're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet So Hail, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today, I'm so excited to have Braxton 1701 Blue Sky social.
Hey, so
Hello.
Hail, the
Hey,
artist
Braxton.
formerly known as Leviathan 026.
026. Now I don't ever have to remember it. I will never forget 17. That one's like super easy. Can like you could be I don't think you have the acting. Do you have the acting bug? Do you want to be you could play Captain April when he was young.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. 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 You know,
You could cosplay as him anyways,
dude,
at least.
I could cosplay as him. I'm terrible at remembering lines, dude. When I did
I know I'm
drama in
terrible
high
too.
school, dude, I was terrible at remembering lines.
That's why I became a director in drama class. Like I started I started to do the directing because like you could just have your script in front of you and you just have to tell the actors you know not what to do but just help the actors find their sweet spots.
Mm, 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 mm.
But anyways, Braxton, it's so nice. I think it's been a very long time since it's just been you and me. It's been like ages. I feel like back in the TNG discussions, maybe, or some long time ago. I can't remember. It was a
Hmm.
while,
It
but it's
has been
nice.
a little while,
It
but it
has.
is nice, dude.
It is nice. Yeah. It's we're good friends, and so why not? We should just do these like we should have cocktails while we're at it and stuff like that. And, Braxton, it's so great to have you on the show after so long. I can't help but feel overwhelmed with joy and happiness. Why am I singing that?
It was so nice to talk to you and Robbie last week, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today about
But
this
why?
episode.
And that was our terrible. We try to do these gags on Starfleet So Hail, but I liked it. I thought that was good. I was waiting for the right moment to sing. We might sing some more during the show. We just watched this last night,
Hmm.
Braxton.
Yes.
That was cool. It was a fun watch party we did for this. I highly recommend Star Trek watch parties. They're so much fun. But so this episode is episode 9, Subspace Rhapsody. It's the episode before the last episode of the season. So I have a feeling, not to skip ahead, but I have a feeling next week is going to be brutal because they give us this beautiful, kind of relaxing musical episode, inspiring musical episode, and it's unlike Star Trek. Like usually you get like a little prelude. There's no clue at all as to what's going on next week, except for Captain Batel saying that she's been assigned to this like priority 1 mission or something like that at the end of the episode.
Captain Patel, unfortunately, that keister is cooked. She's like making plans. She's like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna come back and like we're gonna like go
They're gonna
camping like
kill her.
next week. Like we're gonna
I
like
can't deal.
make these plans. And I'm like, girl, you're not coming back, girl. I feel like she's gonna get attacked by the Gorn. I mean, I don't know. I just want like I just don't want him to like find her body. You know?
Oh, it's gonna
Like
be hard.
that's what I don't want. Like I
I
want
know.
like somehow like for like number one to see it or something. You know, and she
Maybe
said, "Oh,
that's
Chris, like she's gone.
Maybe they're
Like
doing it
I'm
on
gonna win."
purpose. Maybe they're doing it on purpose and setting it up like it's going to happen to subvert our expectations, and maybe it won't actually happen. So I'm still holding out hope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it is nice to have a break from last week's episode where everyone's going nuts about that one too, and it's created like some of the most interesting conversations. The courtroom episode and this episode are creating some of the most interesting conversations I've seen
Mm-hmm.
in the Star Trek kind of Twitter landscape where I've been hanging out, but I hope not to be hanging out there too much longer.
Mm-hmm. You know, so those two episodes are in my top three of the season. Um, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is also
So
in my
good.
top three as well. But the episode, like Mbanga and Chapel just make an amazing team.
team.
Like
Yeah, I have to
they
agree.
are an extremely compelling duo to watch. I had no idea that Babs had those acting chops. Like he was so good.
Yeah,
And
he's really good.
Chapel as well. She just continues. That young lady,
Jess Bush, played by
Mhm.
Jess Bush.
Like she just continues to impress me. Like she is
Yeah.
so good. But enough about that episode, dude. Like, we talked about that
I think
already.
we're gonna have to do like a recap episode where we get like maybe Toddy finally can join, where we go episode by
I
episode.
mean,
Like
does he watch Star Trek anymore?
he caught up. He's have you seen on Twitter? I've been doing these like reaction videos to his he's like trying to go no spoilers on an episode that's like 8 weeks old. Like he's like, oh, no spoilers. Oh, so that no one gets spoiled. And I'm like, yo, that episode is like 8 weeks ago. Just and then we're never gonna get his spoiler thoughts. He's not doing videos. By the way, no shade to you, Toddy. We know you're a dad and you're a very good dad, and that's why you're busy. And so we're not trying to but it's just funny that he's a dad. I'm gonna start calling him Papa Trek on the Tube.
Dude, when I facetiously asked, does he watch Star Trek anymore? That was a read.
He's watching. We'll have to note the time. 6 minutes. All right. So let's do the episode summary for episode 9, Subspace Rhapsody. Shall we try to do it in like kind of a spoken word sing-song style? Do you want to try and do it like that?
Oh my gosh. Dude.
I could start it out.
Okay.
You want me to start it out?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The Enterprise came to a subspace fold. They thought they could communicate 3 times faster, but it all became a disaster, a singing disaster. I swear I'm making these up. Like I've not written this down. Although that was actually, I think that had a little bit of merit in there. So yeah, I can't do it. I can't do a whole musical summary, but basically that's what happens. They're trying to figure out a way to communicate 3 times faster. So they're investigating a subspace fold. It's a naturally occurring fold in the subspace continuum, if you will. And Spock is the one who has this idea. And while they're like trying to figure out in engineering how to, get signals to be coherent through this naturally occurring event, because it's probably very chaotic and stuff, Pelia suggests like songs, right? So then Uhura puts on Anything Goes, which is one of my favorite songs. It's so good. And that gets a response from the subspace fold, which is like it looks on screen like a little poof, like a light, kind of like an explosion, but like sparkly. It's like a rainbow sparkles explosion. And that totally covers the Enterprise. And as it does, people start to sing. So Spock is the first one. And that leads me to, I guess, what was it? We have the title. So this episode of Starfleet Toil is going to work a little different, where we're going to go like kind of and talk about each song. It'll be fun to see which ones we remember and what we remember about them and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But anyways, so this thing, everyone starts singing and they can't stop singing, and it's really funny because they do a lot of like joking about it, but it's also serious. They're actually genuinely trying to figure out how to undo this thing, because what they've figured out is that similar to how the mirror universe exists in a parallel universe, what this subspace fold is doing is creating a field that randomly puts them in a bubble or a mirror of another universe. So they've ended up in a universe that's a bubble around the Enterprise. We're going to call it the musical universe. I think Pelia calls it that. So I like that, actually. The opposite of the mirror universe could totally be the musical universe, and I hope we go back to it again. But anyway, so they're trying to figure out how to do that. La'an realizes that it's a security risk that people are just singing their their innermost thoughts out loud because she doesn't want to like confess. There's two things going on. She can't talk about her time traveling, but she also doesn't want to confess her feelings for James T. Kirk. So they're trying to figure out a way to not sing for that. And Pike also has problem. I mean, like he could give away a lot of information, and you see some funny moments centered around that. But what ends up happening is while Uhura and Spock are trying to figure this out, it actually got worse because the solution amplified the thing, and now it's like all on the subspace network, and every ship is affected now. Captain Batel is singing, and Klingons are singing, and like a boy band. Anyways, Uhura, genius Uhura, she's like studying all the data, looking at all the patterns, and she she has her solo song "Keep Us Connected," which I think is probably my favorite, or tied with the last song, "We Are One." But anyways, she figures out that they got to sing their hearts out. The whole gosh darn ship has to has to participate. So they do, and I think this is where we'll switch from summary to opening thoughts. I was just completely delighted and pleased and cheesed and chuffed and happy and just loving this episode. It's a standout episode in Star Trek. Like there's no denying it. Like it's the first of its kind in Star Trek. And it's all going to be fair as it always is. Like some people are going to be like, this song was bad and this song was great, and like we're all going to have our opinions, but I just kind of felt overwhelmingly happy to have witnessed this kind of start this new thing for Star Trek that a lot of fans of musicals have been wanting for so long. And there's so much resistance to it because Star Trek's a serious show, Braxton. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, it is, dude. I like my Star Trek series.
It's a serious show. So it's when you think musical episode, it takes people out of reality, and people love to, and I agree with this, people love to be in reality, but in reality we can break out and sing and just start doing that too. People will look at us weird, sure, but I think the way that this episode was done in a very Star Trek unique way, where it felt like reality because it was rooted in a kind of quasi-science, definitely science consulted explanation of parallel universes, rifts, and things. So they were able to fold all these different scientific ideas beautifully into the musical universe, and I'm totally here for it. What about you? What did you think? Were you waiting for a musical episode of Star Trek? And give us your opening thoughts.
So yeah, this was the long awaited episode for me. So I actually thought that it was going to air last week, and then I woke up in the morning and started watching. I was like, oh, this doesn't seem like a musical episode. When I was watching the last episode focusing on Dr. Mbanga and Chapel. But I thought this episode was great. I was apologizing to Robbie earlier because I was like, I judged this show when Rebecca Romaine was saying, oh, we're taking big swings on this show. I was like, girl, I know you are. You're playing it so safe. Nothing is happening in this show. And then they gave us these two shows, and before that, they gave us Ad Astra.
Per Aspera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just some really great episodes of Trek that deal with really heavy, serious things, and then they give us the lightness and the levity of this episode here. I there were some songs that weren't great for me. I was telling you that I don't really watch dramas, and so a big part of this show, of this episode, felt like a lot of drama to me, and a lot of relationship drama and stuff that I really don't care for. But it really did have highlights that I really enjoyed. And I also just enjoyed its differentness. You know, like I felt like just doing a musical in Star Trek is a big swing. Just giving the Star Trek audience something that they've like never seen before in our show. So I thought that was really cool. You know, so I enjoyed the voices of people who aren't natural singers more than the people who like are singers. Like, because we know that Christina Chong can sing. We know that
Yeah,
the young lady who plays Uhura can sing. We know the young lady who plays Chapel, I think, can sing as well. Because like when she was singing her song, like she was reminding me of like some like pop star or something. I really enjoyed hearing Captain Pike sing. I probably enjoyed hearing Spock sing the most. Um, oh, and also I really enjoyed hearing Rebecca Romaine sing. Rebecca
yeah,
Romaine did a great job. Like there was like a time when she was like singing in the hallway, and it reminded me of like a Disney song.
right, right.
Um, but yeah, you know, I thought this episode was really fun. I think that my favorite individual song was Nurse Chapel's because it was like so positive
That's such a good song.
and so forward looking. You know, it was like a song like I'm ready for this like adventure and I'm
She's
excited and you
Her dreams
know
are about to come true. She's like very young. She's just like had a traumatic experience in the war. She wants to
mhm,
like kind of shake that off and get over it and maybe, get off of a starship. Braxton, you reminded me
and
that I forgot to mention two things in the summary. So I'm gonna interrupt you real quick just to say that like you're absolutely right. This episode did handle a lot of the drama stuff, which was surprising how well it worked. But I guess it works really well for a musical. You were able to get these characters to quickly resolve their feelings about a few things. So there was
mhm,
what I forgot to mention was the Kirk Carol Marcus is a huge big thing that that we found out
mhm.
about. Like Leon tried with Kirk, and then there was this with Spock where Chapel's like, "Oh, you thought we are going in this direction, but uh no, I'm ready to go in this direction. So if you don't want to come with me, that's fine." It's
Mhm.
like
You know,
great.
this might be a
Yeah.
sensitive subject, but I wonder if people still have like abortions at this time. Like,
I'm sure that they do terminate pregnancies in the future, but that was a big question that came up. A form of discussion is why did Dr. Crusher keep Jack Crusher? Like a lot of people wondered why would she keep him and keep him secret and all that, and that came up in those discussions. So I was like very curious, but I imagine I imagine that pregnancy termination is not as controversial in the future as it is
mm,
now. But who knows? Like we don't know how the Bajorans feel about, are they like Catholics? There's a lot of questions we
mhm,
don't know.
mhm.
But
No, I mean, because I
what were
was
you gonna
just
say? Yeah,
wondering, like,
yeah.
why Carol Marcus would keep this
Oh,
baby.
keep
Like, if
David.
you're like, I mean, I don't remember who Carol Marcus is right now, besides her
She's
being like a blonde
Star
woman.
Trek 3. You haven't seen it yet, right? Star Trek 3.
Mm, I mean, I feel like I have, but like, I just don't
That's
remember. Like,
Yeah. So she is a scientist who Captain Kirk is involved
mhm,
which they told us in this episode, which also, by the way, was very interesting that that dialogue was not um it was not sung. The exchange between La'an and Kirk was totally just dialogue, which was interesting. But anyways, so she's David's father, which David is Captain Kirk's son that the Klingons killed, that
mhm,
Kruge, sorry,
mhm.
a Klingon killed in Star Trek 3.
But you know, but this Kirk is a great guy. So maybe even if like you're on again, off again, you wouldn't abort his baby because like he's like such a good guy.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I don't know,
I
dude. I
mean,
don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
think it all depends where your life's at, right? Like Carol Marcus, from what I know of her character, definitely wouldn't have had any issues with like providing care for a child or anything like that. So
Mhm,
maybe she just felt it was time to have a child. If I could have a child and not have a partner, it would be the ideal situation for me. because I have enough family and friends to help me raise the child. I have resources, and I'm not really good in those kinds of romantic relationships. Like, it's not my style. So, so it's like, I could get her perspective perhaps if it was similar to that.
Yeah, yeah.
I might change my mind, like if tomorrow I meet like Prince Charming or something like that. I might be like, oh, I'm a family man now. Tie me down. Put a ring on this. No, I'm just kidding. Not that finger. Sorry.
But it was presumptuous for her to say that without knowing if he's in like anything. I mean, because maybe she just assumed like, oh well, like all these officers, like
wow, we're like full into the
single,
debate.
like
it is the biggest news actually. I'm glad we're talking about this first.
I mean, he's so handsome, like he's such a good guy. It's like, you know what? Oh, he must have somebody else. Like, I don't know.
That's what you would assume.
I mean, she should have asked his brother, dude.
I think that Captain Kirk, all of them are average in terms of good looks. Like, I don't think that he's that much of a catch. Maybe for you. But like, I think he's just kind of like average. Chris Pine's the most handsome. No, Chris Pine is the most handsome Kirk. I think of the three. Sorry, Mr. Shatner and Mr. Wesley.
I mean, you don't think that William Shatner was really, really handsome?
I was
William Shatner was really handsome.
I and many fans were more drawn to Spock, but actually, I personally was into Chekhov. I thought Chekhov was the best looking because he looked like a monkey. He looked like Davy Jones, and I was totally into like the monkeys. But anyway, that was just me. Like, I don't know. Most people were into Spock though. What I mean to say is like he's of average good looks. He has good looks, but they're average. Like, he's not like good looking in a unique way. There's like a bunch of people that could play Captain Kirk, as you've seen now, but there's like not a lot of people that could play like Spock. Leonard Nimoy had very unique look, I feel like, compared to William Shatner. But I guess, I don't know, it's a really tough question, Braxton, because I grew up really idolizing William Shatner, but for different reasons, not for his looks. And then I as all people, when they grow up, their idols, they discover, have things. It gets messy. Just like Kirk, just like Captain Kirk's life, actually. It's messy. And I like that he admits that right up front. He's like, La'an, like, my life is pretty complicated. Like, and he's trying to explain all these things, and it's like pretty complicated. He never stays in one place that, for any time. His sometimes, partner, his sometimes lover, I guess you could call her, is keeping her baby. She's Papa don't preach. Braxton don't preach.
I feel like her strategy should have been different. Like, instead of just like, trying
I'm keeping
to
my
like
baby,
stumble through saying that like I liked you,
my baby.
She should just she should have just like kissed them.
Should they have had a cover of a modern song in the musical episode, or do you think it was perfect that they did original songs?
I think it was better for them to have done original songs, because I don't know, like, I feel like if they did our songs, they might date their material somehow.
It would somehow. But you could do like a cappella version of a modern song, or like a timeless song that's modern. Like, you could do a song that's already a classic today, like a Nirvana song, for example, or like, something from the 90s. That's what I mean. I don't mean like contemporary, like, Cardi B, although that would be pretty awesome if they did do Cardi B. I wanted to be the Cardi B of Star Trek at one point. And
ooh, wow, dude.
It did not happen.
Ooh, wow. You would like get on Star Trek and shake your ass, dude.
I wanted to, but it did not happen, unfortunately. Sadly, I don't know what I became of Star Trek. I don't know. One more question, because this conversation, and I'm sure I don't know what the audience is saying right now. By the way, this is premiering. We've recorded this. If you haven't realized it by now, this is pre-recorded. Now we're talking to you, audience. This is pre-recorded, and so we're not actually live. And but there's a live chat, and we're either myself or both of us are in the live chat right now. Isn't that wild, Braxton? What would you say to future you, like right now,
Ooh,
who's in the chat?
wow.
Like when you're. All right, here's a question I have for present you while you think about that.
Okay.
Okay. So the question I have is, if you could get a fairly modern song, a popular song from our day into it, if you could have added that song into the Star Trek musical and have the crew singing it, or someone in the crew singing it, what song would it be, and who would you have it? How would you arrange it?
It would
in the show?
probably be like a sad song by Mariah Carey about love or love lost. Dude, like I love Mariah Carey. I also think that Mariah Carey has like a timeless, and some of her songs have like a timeless quality to them because like of her classically trained voice.
Yeah.
I
And
think
she
that
can hit that whistle register, apparently.
I think that some of Mariah Carey's music will last hundreds of years. Gosh.
So which song is it that
I love that song. Like,
it
even
has to fit
though
into
I
the.
try, I can't let go.
Oh, I see.
Something in your eye captured my soul. Oh, you should cut this, dude. And
No.
every night I see
It's staying
you
over.
in
You only
my
get to use it once.
dreams.
But I
I'm
think you're
all
doing great.
alone. I can't let you go. You know what, dude? It would have been perfect if La'an had sang that song because she's like, she's
After the
seeing that
rejection,
Kurt
right?
and
Yeah,
he's
right.
gone, but
True.
she just can't let it go. Like Mariah Carey, like has like a song, has like a verse in that song where she says, "You don't even know I'm alive." Oh, this is so appropriate that I'm singing for the singing episode
I
of
love
Star
it.
Trek.
That's why I'm not
Like,
stopping.
I mean, I just could,
Let it loose. Let it
and
out.
Christina Chong could like deliver
She could
that
deliver
from
that.
Mariah
Yeah,
Carey's
true.
song. So yes, I would
I
have
agree.
loved "Can't Let Go" by Mariah Carey, and for Christina Chong to have sung
All right.
it as
Well,
La'an.
because we only have 30 minutes left, I'm gonna go
Oh my
viral.
gosh! Oh my gosh!
That's great.
We
Are you
got to go
kidding?
hyperspeed.
We might
Hyperspeed.
be over, which happens. It's okay. The new titles. What did you think of the acapella version of the opening titles? Did you remember like that they changed it?
Oh, I noticed that it was different. It took me about 20 or 30 seconds to like see it was to like I was like, like something's different. Like, what is it?
I have a friend
And
who it drives them crazy. It's like,
I
no.
like that it's appropriate for the show. They were
Yeah, I
getting
like
us ready for, what we're seeing.
Well, it was after the first song, which is the status report song, where I like that. I like the way that Spock was the first person to sing, and I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, I guess I guess his voice is like a baritone, Ethan Peck, and to me, when he sings, he sounded like he was performing like Leonard Nimoy would in a weird way, because I think
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Nimoy also had a similar
Mm-hmm.
register, and so that was really eerie. So he can actually, I feel like I really appreciate Ethan Peck's performance because I think it's unique from Leonard Nimoy's. Like that's what I wanted in like someone new. I want what I personally like is new interpretations, but also sticking within the within the confines of like established events and all that stuff. But so Ethan Peck's doing a great job in my opinion, but his singing was eerily close to Leonard Nimoy's. I don't know if have you ever heard Leonard Nimoy's singing?
No,
Like,
I
have
have
you heard one of
not.
it? There's albums. I'll send you a link.
Wow, wow, really?
Yeah, he sings a song about the hobbits, but he also has just like a lot of him and William Shatner both delved into music. William Shatner does like a spoken word
Uh-huh.
kind of stuff, which you probably heard at some
Dude, I'm
point.
so curious. I want to hear Leonard Nimoy singing now.
Just don't play it on the air because we can't. Oh, you'll hear it through your headphones. That's fine. Yeah.
Um, I love Ethan Peck's interpretation of Spock. I think
Yeah.
that he is doing a great job. You can see that he is just growing into this role, like episode by episode. I loved that, like, he just can't even like deal with all this like chapel stuff. Like he just like walks out of her face. Like he just like walks away. You know, like we're jumping ahead. But Ethan
Yeah,
Peck,
yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's fine. Yeah.
I really enjoyed his singing. Like I love like the deep register of his voice. Like
Yeah, totally no.
I feel like he seems like he's
Do you
not a natural singer, but I really liked that. Like, I feel like this episode may have pushed some of these actors' abilities, but like they really stepped up to the plate and delivered like very good performances.
Spock goes through his whole life. Like we've seen Spock's whole life on screen, like the character. We've seen his birth on screen. We've seen like and we've in a Star Trek Beyond, Zachary Quinto's version of Spock gets the news that Leonard Nimoy's version of Spock had passed away, like that version or whatever from the other time, from the prime timeline, or and that stuff. But interestingly enough, he's had very few relationships. We've seen him on screen like having sex, like definitely we've seen that. But Savick seems to be the only long-term relationship, and this never occurred on screen, unfortunately, except for in Star Trek 3. There's like a weird, awkward scene where Savick has to help Spock have Pon farr for the first time because his body regenerated, and so he's like 17 and he's like with this 40-year-old woman. And it's not graphic, but they're doing like the finger touching thing, and then it leads to to sex, which is fine. But like I think it's interesting that Spock has never had anyone, but I think that tells me anyways that I love that they have it open like that, because for me it gives me room to say that like maybe James T. Kirk was the real love of his life. What do you think? You're like, next song, which speaking of James T. Kirk, Connect to Your Truth. Go on, sorry.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's not unusual that people who spend their life traveling in space
Spaceship
and like
together.
out of off world for like
That whole
most
family,
of their
dude.
lives, like that they might not have like a special someone or very many relationships. Like I would understand that.
Okay. And that's like totally prohibited in the real military, right? Like no one stays in ships for like 20 years together like that, right? Like that's not a thing, right? Yeah. It's interesting that Starfleet works differently. But Connect to Your Truth was the song where number one, Una is giving advice to Jim, and he's like telling her, oh, I've studied you, and you're like very disconnected from your crew, and you're like, you keep your distance and all that stuff. And she's like, well, actually, I just wanted to let you know that that's all wrong. You should actually connect to your truth, connect to your crew also. So what do you remember that song?
I do. You talking about the Rebecca Romijn song?
Yeah, the first one with Kirk, because she sings twice.
Yeah, that was great. Like like I said, it reminded me of a Disney song. I felt like I knew that Rebecca Romijn could sing pretty good. But it was great to see it. I absolutely love what Rebecca Romijn is doing to this character.
Too. He's good too. And like you were saying earlier, but the drama plays out. I love that the drama plays out in that song between him and Leon, because she's kind of peeking from the side, like, and she's heartbroken because like they're dancing.
Looking jealous, dude.
Yeah, she's looking kind of jealous. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, Leon, like you looking like you could like kill Una or something. Like she looks so jealous.
And then she sings her song, which is crazy epic. They gave her a really nice, like with flashbacks and everything. How would that feel? Which was Christina Chong's song. Have you listened to her album? It's really good. I forget what it's called. I was listening to it the other day because I was like, oh, let me
have.
support.
I think that.
Tawny Newsome has a band also. Just
Oh,
FYI.
so we saw her playing
Oh yes, we did at Mission Chicago.
yeah, Mission Chicago. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
But Christina Chong is a good singer. I have heard her music. Um, it's a bit too current for me. When I heard her music, I was like, "Oh, that sounds like Lana Del Rey from like 8 years ago." Um, but I do enjoy her music. I think that she's a very talented young lady. She's a good singer. You know.
I never listened to Lana Del Rey, so I guess I'm being introduced to it.
She sounds real breathy, and like some of the music sounds kind of like haunting.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to listen to Lana Del Rey now. Lana, I'm sure I've heard a Lana Del Rey song. Like, what's her most famous song? Let me look it up. I'm sure I've heard it. Let me see.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, I had this friend who used to love Lana Del Rey.
Well, I'll give you my review of Lana Del Rey, but in the meantime, definitely go check out Christina Chong she's on all the things. She's on iTunes, Spotify, and she's great on this. Like that was an awesome number. It's very cool.
I think her most famous song probably is from 2012, Summertime Sadness. I got that summertime sadness.
That sounds vaguely familiar. It does sound a little familiar.
Yeah, that is the song that I know her best from. But she actually released music in 2023. I'm looking here, and she has a single out called "Say Yes to Heaven."
I'll have to go check her. I have no idea who this artist is. I mean, I know her name. I remember when she was famous. You know how when you hear about an artist, but like, I don't know what I was doing during her time, but I was listening to like probably the Lumineers or something in that.
Oh my goodness! Like underneath like the Google search, like the first question that pops up under people ask, is Lana Del Rey working at Waffle House? Damn, like people actually ask that.
Braxton, come on. All right, Braxton, this is a private conversation. Remember that one?
This is a private conversation. Oh my god, dude, that was a proper conversation, dude. I didn't want to hear it, dude. Like,
that's another good La'an scene where she like shuts it off. Like,
dude, yes, La'an took control of the situation. She's like, you know what? This is crazy. Get rid of this now.
And then what next is Keeping Secrets. I'm trying to remember how that one was.
Keeping Secrets. That is who?
It's the one that La'an sang. I know who it's with, but I'm trying to remember the song. But it's La'an and Number One. It's Rebecca Romaine and Christina Chong. And then remember they float. Oh, I guess it's. I mean, the theme is. I remember the theme, which is like, you know, she goes to Number One to get advice on what to do about the whole situation with her whole situation, and you know, Number One is really good at keeping secrets because she's been pretending to be not Illyrian, you know, to be a human. Hello. To be an unaugmented human. So yeah, so that was a cool song. Did you like the floating thing? And did you like the suggestive kind of, I felt like there was a suggestion of like that if we didn't have Kirk in the picture, that maybe Number One might have been an interesting romantic interest for La'an. Or vice versa. I don't know. I got that vibe from that song.
You know, so the thing is, I view their relationship through the lens of like sisterhood. Like, you know, like Una is a mentor for La'an, and I don't feel that at all. Um, I feel like I didn't really like this song. I don't know. Like I told you, like some of like the real like dramatic stuff. Like I don't really care for it. Like I feel like there was like this this episode for me. Like I really liked the end. I
You
really
like I'm
liked.
Ready, which is the Chapel song. That's
Mhm.
your
I
favorite. I'm
really
ready.
liked Chapel song, and
I'm
then
ready.
I really like the end. But I feel like some of the emotional drama that I did not care about that was in the middle of it. It's like, oh, okay, all right, it's okay. It's like sing me to the next portion that I like.
I
Um,
still haven't gotten tired of watching it, and I'm on like the pretty much like the 10th viewing,
ooh,
so I'm totally in a
wow,
different space from you. But I get what
ooh,
you're saying.
wow,
Yeah, I love it.
ooh,
I'm gonna
wow.
memorize the soundtrack. I'm gonna be like that person on TikTok that just starts singing from Star Trek the musical.
Oh wow, dude, I love it, dude. I love it,
It's
dude.
gonna be their most played episode, most downloaded songs. Mark my words.
Oh wow, dude. Oh wow. Oh wow. Huh.
I'm
I am
obsessed.
very interested to see what the reception is of this show. I think that this one might be divisive.
Really? Just
Mhm.
as the just as divisive as the ones we just talked about earlier. Like I feel like this is the one where people are gonna be like, I don't like musicals, I'm not gonna watch it, or I really love this. Like there's not gonna be an in
Mhm.
between. Let's
Mhm.
find out. Because
Mhm.
you like it overall. Like you were happy with it, right?
Yeah, yeah, I like it
We haven't done
overall.
our ratings yet. Don't tell your
Okay.
rating. Don't tell your rating. We'll see where we actually land. I'm the X was a pretty good song, but it was very industrial.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I like
Um,
that it like mirrored I'm Ready, which was cool.
yeah, it did mirror. I'm ready. Yeah.
Spock is the X.
Spock is the
Wow.
but but I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I mean, didn't he like just take a break with T'Pring like 2 episodes ago? Like it seems like not that much time has passed. Like they're like now in some like relationship of depth, and they're like boyfriend and girlfriend. Now I'm about to be the ex. I mean, the thing is like. If they want a break, like it seems like you already have a fiance anyway. I don't know. Like I thought that was kind of stupid. Like I was like, oh okay, well I didn't know that they were like formally like boyfriend girlfriend. Like
Yeah.
does that mean that Spock actually has 2 girlfriends because he and T'Pring are just like on a break? Like that
I
was
think
weird
this
for me.
explains. I think this is one of the ways that Strange New Worlds kind of plays with canon, if you will, right? Like the T'Pring stuff has to end up a certain way for TOS to make sense. Like, she. I think that this is where I wish like someone who is really steeped in TOS, like the sub commander or can we're here because they can, or even actually Fathery knows this stuff, just like they have like a encyclopedic recall ability. But I remember in TOS just the basics of how it's supposed to end up is that Spock goes through he's been avoiding uh going back to Vulcan. He's like in a fight with his dad. He doesn't talk to his dad, and he's very private about his personal life, but then people find out that he's supposed to marry this woman, and so they go to this ceremony, and she's actually in love with this other dude, Ston, who we've met in season 1.
Dude, I like
uh,
Stalin, dude.
I like Ston too. Yeah, so it's interesting, like they have a lot of like wiggly ways to play with it, and I kind of like the way that they're playing with it. They're kind of portraying Spock as like not really knowing what to do, like, which kind of tracks with his character. Like he's still young here. He's only a lieutenant, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's a commander by the time we get to TOS. So he's still like, Pike is definitely a daddy to these kids. Basically, they're all, Uhura was just a cadet last season. She's an ensign now.
She's like 22 or 23.
Yeah, so all these, I like the messy beginnings of these like perfect characters that we get later on, because later on they're pretty, they're with it, And Spock's the messiest. Like he's got his business everywhere,
dude. Messy, dude.
And his poor sister. His sister's in the future. He can't talk about his sister. He's got a whole messy situation. Keep Us Connected was so good. That's a Celia Argooding's song. Keep us connected. I can't do just. I can't.
It reminded me of. It reminded me of a song from Moana, dude. Like I don't know, it just did. Like I said, some of this
song.
Oh,
that's a good musical.
I don't think
I'm glad you referenced
really
another
famous
musical in our musical episode discussion.
It's not like the really famous one. It's like one of the secondary songs.
I love all those songs. I don't know them by heart though.
I only know like the big song, but it's not that. What's the big song from when she's out there in the water, dude?
Like, I'm in the Strange New Worlds like playlist right now in my head. I can't switch. I can't do it.
Okay. But it just reminded me of a Moana.
But it goes like, hold on. Okay, if I really think about it, I can go to Moana. Hold on. Should I just pull it up? I should just pull it up. It'll be easier. I can hear it in my head, like it's in the back of my memory over here. Like, does that make sense to you when you guys think about memory? Now you made me forget how the last song of this episode goes, Braxton. Like you totally derailed. No, it's okay. I'm just kidding.
What is the name of that song? Oh, How Far I Go.
Oh, yes. That's a good song.
So it does remind me of that song. Keep us
connected. No, I think it's different. Keep us connected.
Okay. But it reminded me of a Moana song. I thought it was pretty cute, but it is the lead up to my favorite song of the episode.
The song Uhura sings made me want to skip up and down. Like I wish this episode somehow I could go back in time and give it to like on tape to 17-year-old me, because it would get me through so much, because it's such a good inspirational. That song is so beautiful. It's so good. The lyrics
about
are good.
Like what she's doing and like what her purpose is.
Her
like
purpose.
Connected. Like
she even references Hemmer in it, which is and she like holds her pad when she says Hemmer, like hugging it, like her little video pad that she's been watching Hemmer videos on. By the way, they need to put those Hemmer videos on YouTube, please. Yes.
Oh wow, dude, I would love that.
I want to just like pull it up whenever I want to see Hammer. I love it. I don't know. I love that song very much. But then she starts out, so she gets like a double number because she gets to start the next song, which everyone does, which is an amazing number. I was just like, at that point, I was like clapping and like hooting and hollering, and like I was just like, woo!
You're skipping the chapel part, because like after
I said I'm ready. I'm ready. Keep Us Connected leads right into the last song,
the chapel song, right?
No,
because she says keep us connected, and Spock comes in, and then she's like, oh, like something problematic like that.
No, it's when Spock leaves. Are we sure?
And she like looks in the room, and like the door opens, and like Chapel is sitting like at the bar, and then she talks about like, oh yeah, like I'm happy, I'm ready, like
right. But then I'm the X came after I'm ready.
Oh, sorry.
And then Keep Us Connected came after I'm the X.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh
sorry.
God, Braxton.
I'm sorry. I'm
You
getting
had
this off track. I'm
you
sorry,
had
dude.
too many of those. Oh, look, my light came on. That's my reminder that we're almost at an hour. You had too many of those drinks from the Lower Decks episode. What were they? What
Dude,
were
I
they
did
called?
drink
Orion
booze today
Tornado.
when I had lunch
Orion
with my
Tornado.
father. I was drinking like blue curacao.
Anyways, "We Are One" is the last song, and everyone freaking belts it out, and the Klingons even get involved,
So
and the
hell,
ships are dancing. And then, what song do you think we're missing? We totally talked about the chapel song.
no, we didn't.
We did. We talked about it out of order. That's why I skipped it. We talked about it right in the beginning.
Oh, we should. We need to give it
Okay,
its due because
revisit.
because so the thing like so I
Did
was
we talk about
so
Roger Corby yet? Did we
you
do? No,
know
we
we
did not.
haven't talked about Roger Corby. Yes, Roger Corby
I'm
was
glad you
mentioned in this
brought us
episode.
back. I'm glad you
Um,
brought it back.
so a thing like after hearing the X and some of the other like really melodramatic stuff, I was really concerned about Chapel's song. Like, I am tired of seeing Nurse Chapel crying over Spock. I feel like Nurse Chapel has cried over Spock like in 3 episodes already, and I am just a hard no on it. So I was
That's my
so
song. That's my
happy to
song.
see that
If
like
I
she's talking about Roger Corby, dude. She's talking about, oh yeah, like I'm the best of the best. Like I'm moving on and I'm doing this thing and I'm so excited for like the next chapter in my life. And like, boy, I'm not worried about you. You know, I absolutely loved it. Like she shaded him so hard, all he could do was walk out. You
do you
know,
think do you think that
I
was insensitive at all to Spock though? Do you think because he has no feelings
I
that he
mean,
or he tries not to have
he
feelings
has,
rather I should
he
say?
already, he already has a girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
please, boy. Like, I love that she shaded him so hard. You know, but this is my favorite song just because it
Do you
was so
think though
positive. It
Do
was
you don't you
so
think though
forward
Chapel's
looking.
like I think though that like it's funny that you say that though, but like Chapel's still pining for him in TOS, so there's something there. Like, she's a torn person. I don't think
Hmm.
it's just one way or the other. But Roger Corby is definitely a tragedy that's about to happen to her. Chapel suffers a lot,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Hmm.
Because you know what happened? You remember, I like to remind people what happens as far as I can recall. So Roger Corby is this awesome scientist. We've been hearing about him on Strange New Worlds all this season, and we heard about him the most in this episode because Nurse Chapel got recruited into his program. So that's why she's like everything Braxton said. But he is going to become her fiance. They get engaged because that's why she joins Starfleet, is she wants to find him. He's lost. He gets lost in space, basically.
Hmm.
And they do find him in the original series, but he is dead, replaced by a robot, and he's created robot people. And it's a very famous it's a very famous episode of Star Trek. It's known as the Dick Rock episode because Captain Kirk is fighting Rock, or Rook is his name, with a rock that's shaped like a dick.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
okay.
really funny.
I've
You've seen
seen The
it.
Rock, yeah, on
You've seen
Twitter.
it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm ready. Anyways, that's Chapel's fate, and it's not fun. Poor Chapel. I
Poor
feel
Chapel.
bad
But
for
her
her.
song was so like positive and forward
I
looking, and I
wonder.
really enjoyed it. It was so empowering for this character. Like I just didn't want to see her cry again, and I'm really happy that she didn't. Like it felt like her song just felt like a great reward, and it just felt like so like light and forward looking that I absolutely loved it.
I wonder if we're gonna get to see Roger Corby this season. I'm still wondering if we're gonna see uh Cybok and Captain Angel this season. Maybe they're tied into the final episode. Episode 10's the last episode. So there's a lot of questions
Also,
that need to I
just
have anyways. I
mhm.
wonder if we'll see Roger Corby. And if we do, who do you think that like who would you if we don't see him this season, we'll do a speculation thing. I think it'll be fun
Mm,
to figure out
mm.
who could play Roger Corby.
Mm,
I think Edward
mm,
Norton would be a great. I don't know if he would do TV and if he would do Star Trek, but I think Edward Norton would be an amazing Roger Corby. Personally,
Don't you think that I feel like he's an older actor to pair with that actress?
but he's older than her. He's older than Chapel in when we see him in TOS.
I mean, is he like in his 50s? Because
I would
Edward
say
Norton
that.
is in his 50s.
Yeah, but Edward Norton, I think, could still play a man in his perhaps 40s.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he could
I
pull it
totally
off.
see that.
Yeah.
So I think that Jess Bush obviously has like some, singing and performance, like dance performance credentials because like she was dancing, dude. She was like dancing and swirling like a little pop star, and also like her singing, like the way that she was delivering the singing, like she was like delivering it in the same way that Christina Chong did. Um, and the young lady who plays Uhura, I'm sorry, and Celia Rose Gooding, she was like delivering the
Yeah.
songs like that,
Yeah. Yeah. They have
So
some kind of like training in theater art, musical theater for sure. It seems
mhm.
like it, or they like it a lot and they're good at it. I don't know. But
Yeah.
everyone sang, if I'm not mistaken, every single person who had a song, I think that was their voice. And at the end, I feel like it just sounded like there was probably a lot. The last number, which, okay, we'll go back to, are you ready now? Are you ready
I'm
to
ready.
move
I'm
on from,
ready.
are you, in We Are One, it feels like they brought in a lot more. You're like a chorus almost. Like there was a lot of voices, but everyone got a little solo part, or like just even Captain Kirk got like a little part, and we didn't even talk about him and Sam throughout this whole thing, and they had like a little, we got more in their relationship. This is a solid episode. You kind of have to watch it at least once, even
Yeah.
if you're against musicals, because it does kind of progress a lot of the character stories along in an interesting way, I feel like.
I feel like my favorite shot happened like in this dance, like in this part
That
of the
like
song, but
spectacular, yeah.
with like the red shirts, like all like doing a choreographed dance, and like there's like 8 of them in there in like the hall,
Oh,
and
that
they're
was
like
great.
doing the dance, and I thought that was great.
I
It
love
was.
how everyone ended up on the bridge somehow.
Mhm,
It was so
mhm.
good.
Oh, I also thought that we were gonna hear like some Klingon opera, but we didn't even get Klingon opera, dude. Like the Klingons like sounded like a boy band. They sounded like in sync. Like, is that what Klingon opera sounds like?
I was expecting Klingon opera as well, but I was pleased with the humor of it.
Mm, so did we get any of our primary cast characters dancing, or was it just the red shirts that were dancing in the hallway?
No, I feel
I
like
don't remember.
everyone was dancing in that last number on the bridge, so I'm not sure that. Yeah, I feel like everyone got a little dance, and like Anson Mount was doing his thing, like in his number. Like remember, he was like pouring his heart out and like doing these
Mhm,
kinds of like, it was awesome.
mhm,
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I feel like everyone danced, but
mhm.
we can't dance. Should we dance? Should we try to dance? I can't dance. I can just do this with my arms. I can do this. That's nice. Oh yeah, we can do that. I kind of wish we could. I think we're gonna have to do a Starfleet So Hail after. Steve and I do it. A Starfleet So Hail After Dark. Watch along, sing along of this episode.
Oh
And we'll do
wow, Jen. Oh
down
wow.
in a few weeks. I think we'll do a spectacular.
A thing about watching this episode with someone is that like I took my eyes off the screen like a few times as I was typing, and I think that I missed a few things. Like I think that I was reacting to this
I
song so
think
much
that
that I took
is.
my eyes off the screen.
I think that's totally fair. Next time, we should just watch it, or we can
With
watch it
voices?
now. Yeah, like with no, like I like that idea of like just watching it like silent together as well.
Yeah.
That's good. Voices is fun too, but then you have to rewind. Or we should just be not shy to rewind. Don't be.
Mm,
You're on a streaming service, people. Just rewind, pause
just
it, and rewind.
rewinded.
Just just be like, host, rewind. But no, I caught that too, which means we just have to watch it again. That'll be my 11th time. I'm excited. So, final thoughts and ratings. I'll go first. I think I can't gush enough about this episode. I don't know how to properly explain personally how much it means to me, but I also just think, like, going back to what you were saying about the big swings, like if you're gonna take big swings, and you can't accuse Strange New Worlds of not doing it. It's really shown us what they can do. And this is now like it's one for the history books. I think it's so special that, like, if you in any Star Trek encyclopedia, in any Star Trek thing, the musical genre is finally represented, and it's done in universe in like a brilliant way. It's very meta, it's very beautiful, it's very lovingly crafted. Bravo, and bridge clap. If I were to give this episode a rating, it would be one of my infinities. I can already tell you, Braxton, this is going to be the episode of Star Trek I've watched the most, probably. When you add up, if like you keep track of everything I watched Star Trek, this will be the episode that I watched the most of. I love it. I'll never get tired of this episode.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh
Yeah.
wow! So right off, I feel like I don't like this episode as much as I liked last week's episode, and I gave last week's episode
What did you give
a
last week?
9.5.
Oh.
So, but I felt like it was really ambitious. I love that they gave us this. It feels very, very unique.
Yes.
I did think that it dragged a little bit for me in the end, but I felt like it accomplished what it was trying to do. So, like, I give it a 9.4.
That's so stressful. I didn't know. I thought you gave me like 7.2, and I thought I was gonna have to be like 9.4. 9.4. Like that's like, what's the highest warp factor that you can go? 9.9.
9.9? 9.999.
Yeah, so 9.4. You're already in like highest tier episodes as far as you're concerned. I mean, I know I give like like infinities. How do we average this one out?
So now we know that that the actor who plays Dr. Mbanga, Babs, does not sing well, and he had very few singing lines in this episode.
You're right, but he did sing, and it sounded like his voice auto-tuned, but it sounded like he was actually. You'd have to auto-tune my voice. I can't sing.
I feel like we didn't get very much Ortega's singing either.
She sang at her post. That was a pretty good song. But did she have a solo? She didn't have a solo, did she?
I don't know if she had a solo, no.
Did I forget if she had a solo? We just saw this. It's just fresh. I mean, I've seen it a lot of times.
Do you see it like 11 times? I feel like if you don't remember her having a solo, she probably didn't have one.
We'll do an addendum. I'm gonna go watch it now, and if there's more Tegas. By the way, overall, I don't want to be a complainer, but I do feel like I still want more Ortegas. Like, I don't think we got the fulfillment that we were promised, right?
You want more Ortegas.
I do want more Ortegas. She's an awesome character. I loved her in last week's episode when why do I hear myself? Oh,
I don't hear any reverberation.
Oh,
but the thing is, to give you more Ortegas, who and what do you want cut? You think about some of the episodes that we've had this season, like whose screen time do you want to whose screen time would you take away? Like,
Everyone's about taking it away, but why can't we just add an 11th episode and call it the Mortegas episode?
Mm.
Y'all wanted Mortegas? We added an episode to the season. That's what I want for season 3, actually. That's what I want. That's the end of my journey of Mortegas.
This season has given me what I wanted. Like last season, I loved La'an, and I wanted more
We did
La'an.
get more
Season
Lon, which was
2,
great.
and
Yeah.
we have got a lot more La'an this season.
And I wanted more Benga.
Mm-hmm.
And we got that. So
Yeah. We got Mbanga, we got Chapel. Like, oh my gosh, yes, I loved. I think that this episode has done some really.
Spock is someone that I would cut, but I also think he's great, so I kind of don't want him cut. So that's why I'm like, add an 11th episode. Let's just go there.
Yeah, I want that 11th episode too. Find something on the cutting room floor and just put it together.
Make an Ortega's episode. Give us the Ortega's only episode. No, but she's I think next episode, episode 10, the finale is going to be heavy shit. I'm preparing myself. I don't know if my Romulan spies have not delivered any information to me, so I'm actually in the dark. So I'm speculating that I know we're going to see the Gorn, but I have no idea what else is going to happen. I desperately don't want Batel to die. That would break my heart. But if she does, I hope it's glorious like Cornwell. Oh, Cornwell was like, I wish Cornwell was more glorious than it was, but in theory, Cornwell was glorious.
I don't really like Batel that much, but I don't really want to see her get fridged. I don't want to see her die simply for the sole reason to develop the man that she's with. Like, I don't want her to be fridged, but I feel like that is gonna happen. Like when in storytelling, when someone's like leaving somewhere and then they start talking about making plans, dude, you always know those plans will not come to fruition. Like that's just a thing. So yeah, I feel like she is not long for the world.
Well, we have exceeded our we're at 107. It's almost like kind of like a good number. We should stop there. I hope you'll join us for the finale conversation. I don't know when we're going to record it and who's going to be there, but you're invited.
Dude, I would absolutely love to. It was wonderful to talk to you today. Sohail, thank you.
Thank you. And audience, you're invited too. And if you have anything to say about this episode, please say it in the comments below. And thank you to everyone who's in the live chat. Hi, future Sohail and future Braxton.
Follow me on Blue Sky so I get some followers. I'll follow you back.
Should I put this out on Thursday or Saturday? When should I put this out? Should I drop it like on Thursday or on Saturday? When's better?
I think you should drop it on Thursday.
Okay, this is going to drop on Thursday. It's going to be a special drop, just like Lower Decks. That's it. There you go. All right. Live long and prosper, and we will see you next time.